Okay, dummy. Not an obvious entry point, although not a fade or a short opportunity. Whatever headlines that came out about it may have some room to go. I would fade it closer to 53. If you want to short it, I would use a debit put spread, so not to be nuclear, or a naked put if you can stop out. Um, PG. Tough situation to be in. Getting long here, maybe above here. Above 149, maybe. Or into a dip. Good company, no knock against it. I guess I should change that to support. Take that out. That's a better chart. Don't be lazy, no shortcuts. Better chart. PHM. High, low, somewhere in the middle light is the truth. That 42 line looks horrendously bad. I think resistance all the way from here. PLD, Prologis. This is not an obvious entry point. Rally sold, rally, I'm questioning whether it's going to be sold or not. I mean, this looks like a nice bottom here, but this is a lot of resistance potential. PNM, definitely not an entry point, whatever this is. Not an entry point for me. Wow, check this out. Ring the bell here, put an alert here, and chase it above here if you want, or exit. I would exit my longs. PayPal, excellent rebound, finally, freaking finally. However, it can get to here pretty quickly, but I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Don't let them fool you one more time. Excellent company. I would own shares for the long term off the bottom. And if this falls one more time, I'm going to load up. I'm going to take a big bet if it falls one more time, which means it will never fall again. But if it gets to here, it's an opportunity to fade. Why? Because they have been selling rallies, and this will be a rally, just like this one. Assume it's going to fail. Who is this? Roblox. Into a pretty important scenario. It looks like it cleared a breakout line, but not really. Look at where it closed. Look at that green line. Wow. Look at this. So on a dip, get long, take that out. Or if you're long, hope for the best. No. Next. I mean, do you know anything about the meme Revlon? If you do, get into a room where they trade memes, because there's no possible way we can make comments on the chart except to say this is absolute lunacy and a freaking joke. But if you get into a room where they're actually cheating to trade the stock, feel free. I just don't know where those rooms are, and I wouldn't want to be associated with them. I can tell you that's not a coincidence where it failed. So if they take that out, they could be $14 stock tomorrow. If they take this out. Okay. But I would not be I would not want to be the moron myself after the fact, calling myself a moron for buying it here from that guy. I'm not calling you a moron if you bought it. I'm saying I would call myself a moron if I did it. Rio. I would use bounces to get out. This should bounce hard, and if it doesn't, look out below. And if it does bounce, I would get out. Roku, I already talked about it. I would be long stock. I would be long in the money calls or at the money calls. I would sell puts on bad days. I would sell put spreads and buy calls. I would sell puts to buy calls. Any combination of those, but not blindly. On dips, I would love to repeat that, but not here. Has support, has an opportunity to break out. It won't be easy. Patience. Starbucks, I missed it. The opportunity was there. It was on my list to trade last week and the week before that. I didn't do it. Now it's not an opportunity. Strong pivot from fall of 2020. That's a lot of resistance coming up to it. This worked out well halfway. It can finish the other half. However, it might dip before it does it. Excellent P&L. Excellent company. It is three companies in one. Fundamentally, it is on rails. It just spends a lot of money, but money it makes, if I remember correctly. So remember the Carvana, CVNA, a lot of growth like this one, and shows profits, I think, or Carvana. This one shows 2 billion in losses, right? Whoa, horrendous. It's worse than Carvana. I don't think so. Let me double check. It's positive cash from operations. What does that tell me? It tells me that they are blowing every penny they make to grow the company, but not more. So they're not borrowing to exist. In fact, they generate positive cash flow from their operations. So yeah, they lose a lot of money by design in order to build an empire. And they are building an empire. So price to sales is 4. 4. That's cheapest, second cheapest only to Amazon among those big companies. And this is like Amazon, Square, and Disney wrapped up in one. Good company, SE. Shopify, excellent company. That's the closest thing to Amazon we have right now. P&L, bulletproof. Look at this. Wow. So I said, 1, hold the floor. They did that. 2, maintain the trend. They did that. 3, tackle lines. They're doing that. And there are huge lines coming up. So if they dip, get long. Here's my regret is I shared a credit put spread at 295 that worked out. It was iffy, but it worked out. I wanted to sell another one and it got away from me. And if somebody did it, kudos. If they take out 399, I think they can blast through 450 or 460. But I would wait for a dip and do that. Split is coming. Oh crap, that's why I didn't do it then. Okay, I don't want to do it through a split. Let's say you do 10 contracts. Are they splitting 1 to 10? If you do 10 contracts and then it splits, what happens in the account? They adjust. Now you will have 100 contracts at 1/10 of the value. So the math doesn't change. But now when you go to close the trade, you have to close 100 contracts. How much does that cost? Okay, so let's say you do 20. That's 200. I'm just saying. I can't wait for it post split and it have a bad day. Then I'm gonna sell naked puts with conviction, because then it is a smaller dollar amount that makes it much more accessible to more traders, and it will become more liquid. Nope, oil stock company. You know the story, watch the video, it's attached. It's like a 10-minute video. Not an obvious entry point. However, if you were stuck in my credit put spread at 22.20, my follow-up to that when it crashed unexpectedly was to sell the naked put protection and hang on to getting assigned. So this would be the break-even point of that. So what I would do is I would fix the trade right here. How? I could maybe buy some protection or roll it lower, the sold put, down and out, or just get out of it because it's not as big a loss now. SPY, we will discuss that in length in the video for this evening. It's coming into weird candles. Remember those big drops? So I'm not going to prognosticate. Just follow the price action. If we have an up day on Monday, we might blow through 408. 408 has been super important for a long term. So is 398. So is 412, I think. So plenty of areas to look at. Don't be harsh with your opinions. Be open to the other side of the trade. Be humble is what I'm saying. This is available. Possible. And buy the dip. So if it does dip, it's an opportunity to engage long. Or buy the rip. It's BDBR. AT&T, not an obvious entry point. Awesome rally, not an obvious entry point. These are a whole bunch of prior fails. If it gets above 2150, goes to the next level higher. Task, definitely not an obvious entry point. This could be 16 in the next couple of days. I don't know what this is all about. I mean, if they slice through it on the way down, they could slice through it on the way up. I wouldn't short it. I wouldn't trade it at all. TJX. Resistance through 62. Use the rally to exit problem trades and book profits. Wolf, was that a question? I'm sorry. And what ticker was it? Okay, what is this? TLT. We were right. Way too big a gap. So if Monday we fall, if this week we fall into here, I may be enticed to get long the TLT. I have to tell you that the fact that the Fed changed its stance on monetary policy means that the TLT should go to low hell. It should continue on much lower, even to like $80 or $98, 90 or $80. I don't think the Fed can do what it wants to do. I don't think the Fed can raise rates. That's why they're talking so badly now to crash the market and affect inflation and not have to follow through with their threats. I think they're bluffing with raising rates because it's one thing to slow down the economy. It's another thing to create a balance sheet problem for the world, like 2008. There is no way on the planet the Fed will do that. And if they raise rates as much as they want to, people will be insolvent and companies will be insolvent. I don't think they can do that. So that's why I will try one more long. I would either wait for the breach of that and take it out or sell a put spread or something. What is happening? Yes. Okay. So anyway, I will note it if it happens. I have to warn you, the TLT is not forgiving. Very difficult to trade. Tesla. I did a video on Tesla. I shared it. I will share it again in the link. Did I share it here? Yes, it's right there. So you can watch the video. I'll skip Tesla. Full video. Okay, TSM. Good company. Semiconductor, knock number 1. Taiwan Semiconductor, knock number 2. Thank you, Luis. I appreciate it. Rally sold, rally sold, rally sold, rally sold, rally sold, rally sold. I don't want to touch it. I would rather be long. Support zone, not so. I would rather be long the Qs. If it's rallying, the Qs are rallying, and I don't inherit any of the junk that comes with it. Uber, I said better than Lyft. It is better than Lyft. It does have resistance, but at least it has the opportunity of getting to 25. Higher lows, butting again, fighting with prior resistance levels, prior failures. Happening, yes, and then they crashed. Out, unknown risk. Now we know, 20. So when it comes back down to here, I want to be alerted. Actually, much higher. To get long. It was on my trade list. Upstart, I am long. I shared it to buy shares or buy calls. I own shares. I think the stock can be 50 again, 51. The stock may explode higher if they don't have a lot of loan defaults, because that's the only knock. They grew the business 150%, 157%, and everybody sold it like it was going out of business. Crazy, crazy stupid. Visa, the trade is back alive. Depends on which version you take. If you took July version, you're alive. If you took the June version, you lost. The easy work has been done. Now it's going to face that area that was a prior fail. So this bull is happening, but it went way deeper because of the market-wide correction. This was the Iron Condor. So if you had an Iron Condor, the loss wasn't tremendous, but it was definitely a loss for June. For July, it's perfect. VF Corp, middle of the range, nothing to do here. It has a lot of resistance above. I would definitely not start longs here. And if it dips into this little resistance, which is now support, I would buy the dip to re-engage long. I personally wouldn't, but if somebody was looking to trade it. VSCL, Victoria's Secret, that's a meme stock, right? No. rally. They're selling rallies. It's in the hands of the bears. Okay, if it takes out the prior week high, maybe it gets to 38, 39, I would get out for sure. Verizon, I would re-engage long via credit put spread. It's an excellent company. Or if you own shares, like I said, pays 5%, and it was in the pandemic low when I suggested taking it long. Maybe I repeat the process by selling a put spread this time. I don't want it to go up here, but maybe it does that. So how do I bank on it? I sell a put spread down here, and I buy a call spread longer a time up here. So the put spread brings me credits. The call spread brings me the opportunity of profiting if it rallies. If nothing happens, then I don't lose a lot because I'm collecting some and I'm buying some. And I'm collecting shorter term than I'm buying. So this one is working for me faster than the other one is losing for me. WBA, we thought it was going to rally. It did. Surgically, no. 42.50 is resistance, so book profits accordingly. Or buy the dip into 41. Looks like an opportunity. WBD, I don't know what they do specifically, but this looks like a decent ginger base. However, it's right in the middle of the range. So assume there's a box at 15.2 and 13.3. The breach of either of those sides will carry momentum in that direction. Wells, if you were with me in the live room, we had last Friday, not this Friday, the Friday before. It was so fun trading it. This is weird. Not sure they can start that, but if they do get to 43, that's an exit point. If they come back to 38, that's a long point. In fact, 39 would be a long point. I'm going to start looking at it here and here. Exit below here if it gets there. WMB, Weapons of Mass Destructions, or WMD. WMB, oil company? Yes, oil company. Refer to the video. Thank you. Walmart. What a drop. I mean, wow. Jeez. The rally was crazy, right? And then the drop was even crazier. What? And now the bounce. There's no way I can trade this. I know it has a lot of resistance. I know it has a strong support, but Walmart never has good premiums to sell. Even when it was falling, I couldn't find premiums to sell. So it's a no touch for me because I just don't know how to trade it. It's not exciting growth company. Their service sucks to high heaven. They just know how to manage a business. That's it. And they don't care about their clients. They do provide the cheapest thing. If you want it cheap and you can find it at Walmart, there's only one place maybe you can get it close to price, which is Costco. But Walmart carries stuff Costco doesn't. Costco carries 3 laptops. Walmart carries 600. So if you want a laptop from Costco, you're stuck with what they offer. If you want a cheap laptop, you have to go to Walmart. Just using laptop as an example. So I don't know how to trade it. To tell if you the resistance that could get you to 130, I would be out. That gap, I don't think gets filled anytime soon. But if you want to play that lottery ticket, then buy a call out in time. How much is that? At the money. I do have something open here. Do I? I do. Walmart. I'm looking up something you guys can't see. So what if I go to August? What's a $450 call at the money? So I spend $450 about one call at the money. And if Walmart does rally to high heaven, then that $450 can expand in value to make me money. That's the simplest way. And if price falls, I immediately lose a lot of money. So if you can stomach that, instead of stop loss, say, okay, 450. If I lose 150, I'm out. It's totally doable. Not surgical. Cheaper than buying shares. Okay, work. Not for me. Whatever this does. Paper, yeah, no. So if technically the bounce into 44 should find a lot of sellers, even though they have gaps up here. It's definitely not for me. I would rather be long the SPY. Same with Weyerhaeuser. I think they're in the same business. So Weyerhaeuser has the opportunity to get to 36. If it gets through 35 and gets into 36, it would be an opportunity to exit. I mean, it could go to 37 or 38, but that's a neckline they lost and they need to recover. The good news, they fall into support, they fell into support. So if I was long and I didn't get out, I don't get out now. X, same concept. It can get to 24, it can get to 26, but you have to be realistic with the expectations. I mean, there's no reason why it stops at 17. This is a stock that was $4 in $4 and change in 2020. Resistance, look, sold. I think there'll be selling pressure. XBI, I issued a call, a bullish position on it, and it's played out pretty quickly, so it's tempting to just book it. I think it has room to run. If the markets rally, this one rallies a lot faster. And the quote experts believe that it's a good buy into a recession environment. XLE, it's an oil trade. Look at my video and you will see that I'm a proponent of selling rallies and booking profits and fixing problems. XLV, same thing as XBI. The XLV is a healthcare fund. The XBI is a biotech fund. So they kind of move together. I like the XBI better. The XLV is slightly, I think it has bigger companies controlling it, if I'm not mistaken. So rallies have been sold. This is not an obvious entry point. I don't start longs here. I start them here on a dip or on a rip above that for a trade. 134, 133, 132, and 134, the whole zone. The whole zone. Pick a number. If you want to slice it in half, 130 and change. We'll see how that happens. Let me see if I can find any information from the open interest. We've been talking XLV. I don't know how. Yeah, there's not a lot of information there. I can tell you, I can tell you that in the July contract, it's going to be difficult to rally. XLY, what is that? Consumer fund? The consumer discretionary? No, not for me. So if the markets are going to fall because of consumer spending being killed by Powell, I do not want to bet on the discretionary. I think rallies are reasons to get out. Anywhere around here, I would get out. XOM, buy it? No, I would fade the rallies. XOM, I think whoever bought it here is going to be stuck in it for probably 10 years. Hopefully I'm wrong for them, but it is a possibility. XPEV, not an entry point, just like NEO. Vulnerable short term. Good company. Vulnerable short term. XPEV. Let's see here. So target 1 is about here. Target 2 is about there. It's a tough follow. Tough follow. Yeti. Sellers lurking just above current prices. You might have $3 or $4 in it, so make sure to. Oh, 50. Tough. Zim, beware. Zim, we made money on Zim. That's the one that paid $17 in dividend up here. This could have launched in Head and Shoulders that may be saying, okay, it's going back into the 30s and 20s. I'm not saying it could be, but this could be the target they're chasing. So rallies into 52, exit, and because they might loop around and come back down here and finish the job. Just be careful. All right, folks, we're done with the videos. I'm going to stop the videos, and tonight I will share a write-up after the futures open to kind of like lay out next week a little bit.